Good evening and welcome to A Slice of Life. I'm your host, Jim Therian. Tonight we're going to be exploring something called Sustainable Connecticut. We have with us the director of Sustainable Connecticut, called Lynn Stoddard. Lynn, welcome to A Slice of Life.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So before we get started into Sustainable Connecticut, could you give us a brief resume, if you will, of how you got from where you started to right here in Connecticut?
Yeah, sure. So beginning of my career, I worked for the Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection, which became the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection.
Right.
In a lot of different areas, coastal area management, recycling, climate change, and so on. And I was really interested in working with communities, with the feeling that making change at the community level, local governments is probably the biggest influence on people's behavior and habits. And so after a bunch of time there, I just had the opportunity. We started this program when I was the director of the Institute for Sustainable Energy at Eastern Connecticut State University. We were a grant-funded program. I directed that, and we started Sustainable CT there. It was a great incubation spot, and then eventually we moved it out to a standalone nonprofit.
Okay. Now, in trying to describe what Sustainable Connecticut is,
Yeah.
how would you describe Sustainable Connecticut?
Well, the quick pitch is we seek to inspire, support, and celebrate sustainability actions by towns across Connecticut. And what we mean by that is we have this list of best practices, the things that make your town a great town for everyone to live in. We provide support through us and partners. We have some funding to help towns implement those best practices. And then we celebrate the great things towns have done, like Old Saybrook. They can earn certification by accomplishing certain things. And I guess the most important thing to remember is that we view sustainability as not just environmental sustainability. It's really all the things that are important for a town to thrive. So if I were to ask you, like, what makes you, I think you live in Old Saybrook, you said?
I do, yes.
What makes Old Saybrook great? You might mention things like, I can afford to live there. I feel welcome. My
Right.
opinion is heard. I have access to public services. We have a vibrant arts and culture and local businesses. So all of those things are part of this big roadmap of best practices that towns can implement these actions and show that there's a breadth of being a really welcoming, thriving, inclusive, resilient community.
Now, in its present form, how long have you been doing Sustainable Connecticut?
We launched 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's not too long.
Not too long ago.
Lots of engagement from towns all over the state.
Yeah.
131 towns participating, and 58 of those are certified.
Let's talk about the map.
Yeah, a map.
Because the map is rather, actually it's rather extensive.
Yeah.
You have a lot of participating towns, which is actually quite surprising to me.
Yes.
And I don't think here's the
There we
map
go.
right here.
Yay, map.
So the different colors indicate the different levels of participation.
Right.
And Old Saybrook is silver, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to our conservation
There you
department.
go. Yep.
They're doing a very nice job.
Yes.
So not all towns are signed up.
So we have 169 municipalities in Connecticut.
Correct.
There are 131 dots on this map. So almost all are signed up, about 77%. Of those signed up, the blue ones, that means they're in the program, working towards
registered.
certification, they're registered. Those that have earned a bronze certification are this bronze color, of course, and the silver is a silver color. The sad thing about this map is it's not showing our gold certified town. This was the first year we established gold. We started with just bronze and silver for the first 5 years.
Right.
And this year, our first town got gold. We offered that opportunity. It's the city of New Haven. They're showing up green, I think, as a climate leader, because climate leader is part of the gold designation. But just quick overview. You have to do, a town has to do an action in all these broad categories. So you can't just get, and you have to have a certain number of points. So 200 for bronze, 500 for silver, 750 for gold. So you can't just get 400 points in the energy stuff. You have to get points in we have 12 categories, the things that I mentioned, like
Right.
your local businesses, your arts and culture, affordable housing and equity and so on. So these towns that are certified represent a really broad look at sustainability in the depth. You know, they've gotten the number
Right.
of points across the board to achieve certification. And then climate leader is kind of an overlay. It means the towns have done, of the points they've gotten, many of them fall under actions with high greenhouse gas impacts or responding to adapting to climate change.
Now, within a town, who gets involved in establishing these levels, or who participates towards that goal?
Yeah, it's different in every town. It almost always includes lots of passionate, dedicated residents.
Yeah.
Usually a elected official, but not always. Definitely staff people in the town planner, economic development director, conservation commission,
Right.
those types of employees. And they're all working together. So, you know, the many committees a town might have, an economic development committee, recycling committee, an agriculture committee, they can all work together on pursuing sustainable CT certification, because there's so many, there's kind of like something in it for everyone.
Right, right.
People who are passionate about whatever.
So Sustainable Connecticut isn't so much don't use pesticides, but a more healthy, well-rounded community.
Exactly.
Okay.
We often say we're the yay-sayers, not the naysayers. So we are elevating the great things people are doing for
Yep.
their communities, not banning. There's a role for that, but we don't give points, for example, for banning the use of plastic bags. Instead, we give points for introducing a campaign to use reusable bags or eliminating waste altogether.
Yep.
Always trying to look at the positive side of it.
Right,
What
right, right.
positive action can I take to make my community better?
Now, can a community or a municipality be too small to participate?
No, we've got some of these in the eastern and the western parts of the state. We have some really small towns, so yeah, even the smallest towns have achieved certification and can be a population of, you know, under 1,000.
So if I have a bronze certification,
Yep.
what am I not doing to get to a silver certification?
It means silver is just more points than bronze. So in other words, you might have you have things in your, everything in the program, our program is beyond what's required by the state. So as you said, you worked at the transfer station in Old Saybrook, you know they're mandatory recycling, glass, plastic,
Yep,
bottles. The town has to go beyond that. So they have to be recycling things that aren't required by DEEP. And so if you're recycling mattresses, you have a program to recycle mattresses in your town, you can get points for that.
Oh.
So if you're bronze, you know, you might have done a couple of those things. If you're silver, you know, maybe you have 6 or 7 additional things, like supporting textile, like used clothes or something like that, that aren't on the list. That's just an example. You know, you could be doing any of these many actions that we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, does each town have to reapply each year?
Luckily not, because I'm going to admit that it's a bit of work to substantiate all these things they've done.
I bet, yeah.
So certification lasts for 3 years, and then a town must reapply.
Reapply.
So
And they have to reprove their silver level participation?
they can be bronze, silver, or gold. They can what we call re-bronze. So, you know, just recertify again at the bronze level. One of the things that town leaders like is sometimes they like to use this program as like an internal audit of what we're doing.
Oh.
And so kind of keeping that up year after year, at least every 3 years.
Yeah.
They're looking at all their practices and saying, we could do better here. Here's an opportunity. Let's try to increase there.
Now, other than the award of a new level or a silver medal or gold medal, what is there like a financial incentive, or what's going to make a town really strive to go for gold?
Yeah, fame and glory. Get one of these for your town hall.
Okay, fame and glory.
Bragging rights,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Our town
yeah.
silver, your
Yep.
bronze. Yeah, but joking aside, it's really the pride in
Yeah.
your town. And for us, it's not, it's not all about certification. It's that Sustainable CT is a way to bring residents and town staff together around pursuing a shared vision for your community. So
Right.
whether you pursue things and never even get certified, like that's great. We just want to build community connections, provide lots of free resources. Our program's free for all towns, and there's lots of free like consulting services and so on to help towns do it. We also do have money to help towns with sustainability projects.
Okay. Now, what kind of support do you offer municipalities if they may be not sure what to do or how to do it?
Yeah, well, a couple of our main support resources. One is this money that we have. It's called our Community Match Fund. And how it works is it's not like a traditional municipal grants program. We are helping to support people's dreams for their community. So if you live on a street that has a vacant lot, and I say, Jim, like, what do you want to improve about your community? You say, this lot, I'd really like to turn it into a garden where anyone can grow food,
Yeah, right.
anyone can get the food. We say, perfect. That aligns with what we're all about. We're going to set you up on our crowdfunding platform, give you a crowdfunding coach. Every dollar you raise, we're going to match it from Sustainable CT. So I was looking before the show. We've inspired about $128,000 of investment in just the 9 towns in this programming area. So all of your towns are participating in the Lower Valley region here. And in Sustainable CT, they're registered, those blue dots. 6 of the 9 are certified, 3 bronze and 3 silver.
Right.
And in your towns, there have been 11 of these community match fund projects. One of which is currently live on our crowdfunding platform. It's a tree planting campaign in Old Saybrook, where folks got together and said, Old Saybrook actually, they learned has a less of a tree canopy than surrounding towns. It's important for beauty, ambiance, for shade in the summer, for air purification, for stormwater runoff, so many things, the benefits that trees give us. So they are raising money to buy trees that they will donate to residents or businesses and help them maintain them.
Is that the Save the Shade program?
Yeah, it's SOS, yes.
I went to that meeting last week. It was very informational.
Yeah. So folks can find that by going to our website, sustainableCT.org, and then under funding, there's a place to look for all those projects and support them.
I was on your website, and it is extremely extensive, much more extensive than I had imagined, which is excellent, actually. So if ever somebody in the audience or somebody in the town hall has a question, the answer is in your website.
Yes.
It really is.
It's true, but it's like walking into a huge physical library. It's like, where do I go? Where are the books on this? Where are the books on that? And there may not be an easy map. So the best thing, if people want to help us steer them to information or answer questions, is just to email us at info, INFO, at sustainableCT.org, and we answer right away.
Okay. Let's talk about what you indicated earlier was a summer intern program.
Yes.
What do interns do? Where do you get them from?
Yeah, and that's the second resource I was going to mention to support towns. It's called our fellowship program, and we hire college students from all over Connecticut or Connecticut residents studying at out-of-state colleges. We train them about sustainable CT. And then we actually embed them. We have a partnership with all of the councils of governments.
Yep.
So the Lower River Valley COG here in your region, and the 8 other COGs around the state. We embed them in those offices for the summer. So it's a partnership where we're providing supervision and mentoring and job training, and the Council of Government staff is too. And these interns work flat out for full-time for 10 to 12 weeks during the summer. They help towns with certification. They help do outreach to towns that aren't part of the program to understand all the free resources. And the towns rave about them. If you ask your town, they'll say, we couldn't have done it without the fellows, because they're actually really good at uploading documentation for
I bet they are,
certification and understanding the nuances. Does this qualify for points or not? Because they're in touch with us constantly.
I have been very enthusiastic about getting the youth involved. They got energy, they got passion. The cruel world hasn't beat them down yet. And so I think it's very important to get these interns going in the right direction.
It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
It's great. We usually have about a dozen fellows each summer, and a lot of them end up, you can imagine, they make connections with mayors, with passionate residents. They're actually helping change and shape our communities. And some of them are, we like to think that they end up staying in Connecticut partially because of this experience.
Right.
And I think it's true. They've been hired, it's kind of this job pipeline. They've been hired by the city of Bridgeport, Waterbury, us, the councils of governments. So it's a great opportunity. The fellowship application for this summer 2024 is open right now. Go to our website. The deadline is February 19th, I think it is. So yes, would like any college students out there who are interested, give us a call and apply. It's a great experience.
In doing my research, I went through all the website and I checked everything out, and I did check out the interns, and they are from colleges all over the place.
And majors, French, neuroscience, poli-sci, whatever. Yeah.
Well, it's getting to the point, I believe, that we need all hands on deck to move forward in a positive direction. And so God bless you for doing this and getting this thing started.
Thank you.
I would like to say, so if you have a summer intern and you stick him in, Middletown doing XYZ, and can he transfer to something else, or that's where he's at for the duration?
Well, they're working for the summer with that region, so it could be any town of your 9 towns or in the lower Connecticut River Valley.
Right.
So they get a lot of diversity. And it's 12 weeks, it goes fast. They're building relationships and gaining the trust of municipal leaders. So usually there's not a lot of switching around. They meet as a cohort virtually regularly. They have training sessions once a week. So they do get a great sense of what's happening throughout the state and what other fellows, their experiences with towns and other parts of the state.
I think it's great that you actively engage these interns and help them through the process.
We love it.
I bet it's very inspirational.
Yeah.
I bet it's great. Now, let's talk about the general public. What would you like the average guy watching TV, watching this program, to know about Sustainable Connecticut?
Yeah, what I would like people to know is, if you have any interest in making change in your community or meeting people in your community that might care about the same things, or improving things, there's a place for you in our program. And all of your 9 towns have active sustainability committees.
Yes.
So there's someone to connect with, a group of people. And whether you're really passionate about local foods and farming or equity and inclusion, it's all part of our platform, our program, and you can work with other people, towards small steps to help your town achieve those things and, the broad platform of certification.
I like that you're so inclusive to help, the students, the interns, and then the general public as well. I just think that's marvelous.
That's how change happens, one person at a time, right? Grouping together.
And you are leading the charge, absolutely. So, other than getting individuals involved, what would you say, what's the path forward?
Well, let me just add another thing besides being on the committee that a resident can do is just what I said to you. Oh, you see something in your town you want to change. I gave the example of a community garden in a vacant lot.
Right.
It could be a mural to beautify part of your downtown. It could be bike lanes on a street or fixing up a hiking trail. Anything that's publicly accessible as a
Right.
public benefit, we have this money in our community match fund to really spur that, to help it happen. So people you don't need to be a nonprofit. You don't need to be a town employee. It can be anyone with a great idea that matches, the goals of our program. We will, like I said, we'll support your program and match what you crowdfund.
Now, each town has a representative of Sustainable Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Where in town is that? Is it the
It's
conservation?
it's usually either an elected official or a town staff. And could be conservation, could be town planner, could be economic development director. Each town identifies the appropriate person
Right.
to be our point of contact. And you can find them, if you remember that map, the dots, you click on a dot for your town, and
Yep.
then you can actually find the contact with a phone number for your town. You can also look at their certification report and see everything your town's done to earn bronze or silver or gold certification.
Well, I know I've spoken personally with our representative in town, in Old Saybrook, and she is very passionate about Sustainable Connecticut, and I think that's the kind of people we need to move this thing forward.
Absolutely.
Now, are you branching out into other states?
We are Connecticut-based. It so happens we have partners in all across the country.
Yeah.
Each program in each state is homegrown, developed on its own,
Oh.
with its own list of best practices. What we all have in common is that we are inspiring action at local government level, the town level,
Right.
and broad sustainability. So there's a Sustainable Jersey program, a Massachusetts Green Communities program. We're in a Sustainable States network that helps, we share information, sometimes we go for grants together, but each state is run by its own entity. Some are nonprofits, some are state-run,
Oh.
state agency-run.
Now, is there any movement towards nationalizing a set of standards and practices, or is it just state by state?
Not within our network. We recognize, and you know about Connecticut, it's very home rule based. So it's the process of people identifying what are the important things for your own communities. That's really important. It may end up looking sort of like the one in Massachusetts, but it's not. And people in Connecticut own our program because we had over 200 people identifying what makes a community great, and kind of putting things on lists on walls and voting with dots and whatnot. So
Right.
really is important to have it come from the place.
Where do you get your funding for this?
We're totally grant funded.
Oh.
So we have lots of funders and are always looking for more. We have some corporate sponsors.
Oh, very good.
I'm always looking for money.
I had that feeling.
Yeah.
But you're doing excellent work,
Thank you.
vital work, and I think I'm so happy that you came here tonight.
Well, thanks for inviting me. It's a great opportunity.
Well, when I saw Sustainable, and I said, I have to have this person on.
Well, congratulations to the towns in your region.
Yeah.
100% of your 9 towns are
Yeah.
on the map there. It's great.
I think we're doing really well. And let me just say, this placard is on loan from the Town Hall of Old Saybrook.
Yep.
And it was made very clear to me that I should bring it back.
You better. Yes, they worked hard for that.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up. If you have any questions about Sustainable Connecticut, you can go to the sustainableconnecticut.org.
SustainableCT.org.
Okay.
Yep.
So Sustainable Connecticut, well, sustainableconnecticut.org. And if you have any question, you will find the answer in this website. Very thorough.
Yep.
Kudos to your IT team for doing such an outstandingly good job.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So that's it for tonight. Sustainable Connecticut, it's a wonderful thing. Check it out. And we'll see you next time.